In this tutorial, we're going to build a typical website page starting with a blank canvas. We're going to start at the dashboard and click Add New to begin a new page. The first thing we'll do is give the page a title. Then we'll publish the page. Now we have a live page with its own web address. Now let's build the page. There are predefined layouts to get you started, but in this example, we're going to add all the elements on our own. All the elements are on the left, which you can access by hovering over the icons. The first piece we're going to add is a page title. Here I'm going to click on Title and drag it onto the canvas. It's all set for me to start typing. Because it's a page title, we should give it a Heading 1 style. This will make it the biggest text on the page and inform Google that this is the main topic of the page, which is good for search engine optimization. Now we'll center the text. Next, we'll add some copy. In this case, we're going to click and drag the WordPress text element onto the canvas. If you've used WordPress before, this text box will be familiar to you. I'm going to type a subhead first, then the paragraph text. But here, I want to paste in text I've already copied from another document like Microsoft Word. But I'm not going to paste it directly into the text box. First, I'm going to click the little T icon, which will strip out all the formatting from the Word document first, and then paste it into the text box to match the styling already established on the page. When I'm done, I'll click Save. And here's my text in one column across the entire page. Now I want this row to have two columns, so I'm going to hover over the column near the side little handle here until I get the small arrow. This arrow means I can change the size of the column. I'm going to click and drag it to the left, shrinking the size of the column. Looking at the text, I've decided to make the subhead bolder. So I need to edit the text. To do so, I'm going to double-click on the text, and the text box reappears. I highlight the text and choose the Heading 3 style, which is logically smaller than Heading 1 and 2 and larger than Heading 4. When I'm done, I'll click Save. And here's my column. Now I'm going to add a second column to the right. I'll click and drag over another WordPress text box and do the same thing again. Now let's take a look at our page. We need to click Update, then Preview. When we click Preview, this opens up a new browser tab. Now let's go back to the editing page to fine-tune the styling. The first thing I want to do is add more padding around my headline and columns. To add styling features to any element on the canvas, we need to click on these small three dots. There are dots on the left which control the entire row, and there are dots on the top which control the column and all the elements in the column. To add styling to the headline, click the three dots for the column, and the Style tab appears. Here I can adjust the space and padding around the element. The units are in pixels. Let's pick 50 to give the headline some breathing room. Next, I'm going to add styling to the left column. I'll click the three dots for the column, then click in the styling box. This is where I'll add my styles. When I click inside the box, a list of available styles comes up. The list is fairly long, but the styles are organized by categories like animation, images, text, borders, and so forth. The first style I'm going to add is an animation, where the column will slide in from the left. Click to add. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the right column. As I start typing, my choices narrow to only those that match what I'm typing. This is a quick way to get to the list of styles. Once I'm done, I'm going to click Update and Preview. Notice how the animation makes the text slide in from the sides. Now let's continue editing the page. Next, we're going to add a headline inside a banner. Click and drag onto the canvas a headline element and type a headline. Now we're going to give the entire row a background color. To style the row, I'm going to click on the three dots on the left. I'm going to click on the Style tab and add the full width style, which tells the row to extend all the way from one side to the other, regardless of the width of the browser. Next, we're going to give it a background color. We call the background colors spot colors because you can add them to different spots on the layout compared to, say, the background itself for the entire page. When I add the style, you can see the entire row changes to the spot color. Now, how can you control the spot colors? You can go to the Customizer, choose Create Your Own Color Palette, and you can see that the spot colors are some of the first few options. There are other videos that cover the Customizer in much greater detail. Now back to your page. Let's give the banner a uniform padding of 10 all around. Next, we're going to style the text itself. We're going to click on the three dots for the row. Go to the Styling tab, and the first thing we'll do is make the text white. You can see even after adding the padding 10 style, there's still a little bit of padding below the headline. This is due to the fact that headlines automatically have a bottom margin as a default to make headlines look good throughout the entire website. So we need to eliminate the default margin. Probably can anticipate there's a style for that too. Here we'll choose margin 0. Now we have a perfect banner headline. And because we like the elements to move, we'll add a fade up animation and some space between it and the columns above. Let's take a look. Okay, it's starting to come together. Let's go back to the editing page and add a text box below the banner. We're going to click and drag over another WordPress text box and add some text. We're going to make this column slightly more narrow than half the page. And see how it's crowding the banner above? So we're going to give it some space to the entire banner row above. 50 again is a nice amount of spacing. Now we're going to add an image. Hover over the image icon and click and drag an image onto the canvas where you want it. This will let us choose an image from the image library. Now we can also upload an image from our computer too by simply clicking on the Upload Files tab. Click the image that we want and then click Set Image, and the image will appear on the page exactly where we dragged it. Now we're going to add styling to the image. Click on the three dots for the row. First, we're going to add rounded corners that will actually round the corners of the picture. Then we're going to give it a nice drop shadow. Let's take a look. Okay, back to the editing page to add some animation. And then we'll preview again. Now it's looking good. To help users of the page, we're going to add a big colorful button. There's an icon for that too. Click on the button icon and drag it on top of the column with the text because we want the button to be a part of that column. The shading will show you when it's attached. If you unclick it, you now have the button just below the text and attached to the left column. You can control the color of the button in the Customizer again. Go back to the Customizer. Click to change the color. You can also control the color when the visitor hovers over the button. Next, let's center the button and change the text to learn more. Now, let's link the button to another page. So when it's clicked, it will take the visitor to that page. You can type in any web address you want. Let's take a look at the page. See how the button slides in from the left with the rest of the column? Another nice feature to add to a page is a horizontal line which separates sections on a page. To add the line, we're going to click and drag a text box here, and then click the horizontal line icon in the style bar. And there's your line. See how it's hugging the row above too closely? So we're going to add some padding. As you can see by now, we like 50. It tends to be a nice default padding on a page. Now we'll build just one more section in this example to show you how it's done. We'll add a text box and then text. This time though, we're going to start with a column on the right. Now we're going to add a video. Click on the video icon and drag it to the left to the text column. Default video appears. To change it and add your own video, go to the YouTube page of the video you want to add and copy the web address. Now go back to the edit page and paste in that web address. There you go, the new video will appear. Add some animation to the text and video because we animate everything. And now let's take a look at the final piece. Here you have a nice looking page and a better understanding of the basics for creating it. Now there's so much more that you can do in the software, so be sure to check the Support Center for more tutorials.